1 minute.
For you, that's the only warning people need, isn't it?
Unbelievable. I have got a crack crew here.
I think we're going live. Anytime you can go, Tom, we're live.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. It's Tom Chenault, and it's the Tom Chenault Show. I hope you're having an unbelievable day. We're going to have some fun today. We've got some very interesting guests, but I want to tell you about next week's show because I don't know if you know Lauren Lahev or whatever her name is, Tony Robbins' girl, that lady that makes $1 million a year over at Juice Plus. And she's got a friend named Kim Calabrese who lost a child. And Kim Calabrese decided to write a book about that experience of losing a child. And also for all the parents and all the people out there that run into people who have lost loved ones and don't know what to say to them. And I decided to bring her on next week just because at my age, my friends are dropping like flies. And so people are dying right and left because I'm 100. So as a result of that, I don't ever know what to say to these people. So I read her book. And I am telling you, it made a difference because I stopped giving advice and just gave love and compassion. So I'm going to have her on the show next week, and I think you're going to love it. So that's going to be a cool thing for next week. But this week's show is really, really cool. I've got Nick and Natalie Sorensen. And Nick Sorensen is such an interesting guy. I met him with John Hammock a few weeks ago, and it was just an experience. And I enjoyed it. I learned a lot. He and his wife are absolute network marketers. His wife is really the power behind the deal from what I understand. And he's kind of like Mr. Natalie, stay-at-home dad. And that works for him. Right now, he's delivering the kids to soccer, to the popsicle stand, to something. And his wife's sitting at home grinding it out. And that's the way they do things. And she obviously took quite good care of herself, and Nick not so much. So Natalie, how you doing?
Hello, glad to be here.
What's going on? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I don't understand why I have two chairs. It's bugging me because I'm here by myself and I have no friends. And so that's already got me. It's already in a dilemma. It was sticking in my brain. So I had to get rid of that chair. But Natalie, who the heck are you? You guys are a power couple. You're actually doing two different companies. I want to hear how you guys do this and what makes you two tick, because your husband is adorable. I understand why you married him.
He is adorable. So I guess let me give you the long, short story. He says that I can't do that very well at all, but we were sitting on one of our first several dates, and he told me that his dream was to be a network marketer and help people all around the world. And I looked at him and was like, ew. I don't really know what that is, but that sounds terrible. I was an entrepreneur, started a business when I was 18. It was a brick and mortar salon. So I was in the service industry. So I helped people all day long, but I helped people in my community. I didn't change anybody's life around the world. I didn't really know anybody outside of the world, outside of the US. And so his dream was not my dream. But as our story unfolded, when we started a family, I sold that business, and it took me about 2 months of going crazy with a newborn baby in a city where we knew no one, that I was like, the greatest gift that I feel like God had given me, which was the spirit of entrepreneurship, helping people, making them look better and feel better about
husband,
which would help them become more confident so they could live their happiest, most successful life. That little piece was missing. And I was looking at this little girl going, I don't know if I can be a domestic goddess. I don't think I'm that good at dishes or laundry, but I do know what I'm good at. And so that's kind of what led us into this industry. Nick was working full-time, traveling sales, was gone all the time. He was really successful, but we didn't have a life. I remember his first Father's Day, he wasn't there. And it was like, I know you can celebrate Father's Day on any other day, but I didn't want to. It hurt bad. And we were making sacrifices as a family. And so when somebody dropped the opportunity into my lap, I said, I can do something with this. I care about people. I want to help people. I can take everything that I've known in business and be coachable and willing to learn. I'm a compulsive learner. I'm always reading something. I'm always trying to, meet somebody or do something to find somebody that I didn't know. And this industry was fascinating me, quite frankly. People are able to make tremendous, big business type of income, but have freedom and lifestyle and no overhead. So that's what I'd been exposed to before. And so I got really excited about it, got to work. 6 months later, we were very young. I think I was, what was I, Nick? 27 at the time. I told him, if I make a check bigger than yours, you're calling your boss and quitting. I don't recommend that for anybody who's at that place in life. It wasn't the smartest thing, but we were a young couple in love with a young family who wanted a different life. And so he did. He called and fired his boss. And of course, we thought working together full time, we would catapult it, triple our success, quadruple our success. And I think Nick would be pretty honest to tell you, he thought that he'd mastered sales. So when he brought that over into network marketing, I was super excited to have him work with the team. And he was Mr. Salesman. So I still did way better than him. He wasn't recruiting people nearly as fast as I thought he would. And it was because he was using all these super slick sales tactics instead of being relatable to people, using tools and systems, all of that. And so I'm I'm just this dingy stay-at-home mom, beauty, professional. I'm killing it. I was recruiting all types of people, men, women, all ages, all people, and growing this amazing team. So quickly, he was okay, I need to step back, learn from people who've gone before me. So he was also coachable when he, got involved. And, we had a lot of success together. We love working together. We're best friends, so we love spending time together. But just, as business and season things evolved, I just want to stay true to my passions and he wants to stay true to his. And we're both the same personality type, which is really interesting. So everyone's who's the quiet, reserved one? Or who's the non-A-type dominant personality? And I'm well, we both are. So we're having a lot of fun, kind of staying in our own zones, but it's the same industry. So we're always popping ideas off of each other. Nick's a brilliant person when it comes to numbers and compensation and just strategy. And I'm really good with people and talking to people and wording things and all of that. So we kind of play off of each other's strengths in that sense. But, I think most of all, what we're most passionate about is just helping people change their lives. And we have a vehicle to do that. And so whether it's a little bit or a lot that somebody's wanting, we get to do that. And it's just really fun to get to wake up every day and chase that dream.
Hey, Nick, do you ever get to talk?
Every once in a while, I get permission, for sure.
What a great dynamic. The both of you just ripping every day. You've defined your roles. You're having a blast, and you're building two sizable incomes under the same roof and not killing each other. That's pretty strong, Nick. Is that kind of what I'm talking about?
We definitely have our moments, for sure. I mean, people say to, describe your marriage, the word is passion, which that's in every form of that word. It describes everything from the highs and the lows. But no, we're having lots of fun, for sure. And it's fun to see her, have so much success. And
he turned off his camera. Who knows what?
Oh, sorry, I was getting calls. It's fun to see her have so much success and do so well. But be mom first and wife first. So it's been good. It's been a journey for us in the industry, but prioritizing and really figuring out what is first is kind of what led us down our pathway where we're at.
Really, that's really, really cool. So I want to, before we go, we got to break in a couple of minutes, but Natalie, you look like you are absolutely on fire all the time, thinking out of the box, not letting anything slow you down. Is that kind of how you live your life? Just telling women to be brave, bust through the fear, and go for the golden goose?
Yeah, I really do. So I feel very blessed and fortunate that when I was growing up, my dad always said, his line to me was, if anybody can do it, you can. And I was just raised with this confidence that like I didn't feel inferior because I was a girl. I didn't feel inferior because I was blonde. I didn't feel inferior for any reason. It was like, if somebody else out there in the world can go do it, why not me? And I feel like definitely I don't live like a fairy tale. There's still things that get me down. I have sick kids. I have, different things. After I had my third baby, I went through extreme postpartum depression. I'd never experienced that in my life. I didn't know what it was like to wake up and not be happy and, have something to chase. And, I feel like I went through those experiences for me to become more aware of as a leader, to understand that there's circumstances that causes people to go through different things, and then like really how to be there for them and support them through that. So the answer is, things aren't always perfect in the Sorensens world. People joke around like it always is because we have these really cute kids, and I guess follow us on Insta stories or something like that and see the behind the scenes, the messes, I don't know, maybe we should post a picture of like the car after like one weekend. We can't get through the weekend without like everything just piling up and becoming crazy. We're just like anybody else. But we don't have limitations that we try to let hold us back very long. We definitely try to bust through those limiting beliefs and I don't know, think about putting somebody else before yourself. And that's what's really cool about this industry is if you can help enough people get what they want, you'll have everything that you want. So it's not just our goals in mind, but it's really truly the other people that we serve and that we, work with every day.
I think I want a husband like Nick myself. I think I love him. So we're going to take a break. We're going to come back right after this. This is the Tom Chenault Show. You stick around on the Genesis Communication Network. And we're back. I don't know if they told you about the commercials, but there's no commercial. So we're on Real Radio. So as a result of that, we have this radio thing. Adrian, you're sideways. So we have breaks, which is really, really cool. Yeah, there you go. Adrian, you got to flip your phone or stand on your head. So anyway, so we do the commercials remotely. So this is the commercial, and we only had one advertiser, and his camera is sideways because we've never done him remote, but there he is. Hello, you have got a stunning resemblance to me, young man. What is your name?
It's unbelievable. My name is Adrian Chenault, and my camera was perfect until I was added as a host, and everything flipped this way. I'm going, how do I do this?
So it's my fault. You're saying it's my fault. Okay.
Good to be with you. Usually it oh man, but it's great to be with you guys. And yeah, Contact Mapping is the sponsor of the Tom Chenault.
Adrian, you got no bandwidth, so either turn off your camera and talk, or I'll take it from here.
You talk.
Turn off your camera. All right, now try talking. Tell us about Contact Mapping.
All right, that is bummer. So sorry about the bandwidth, but Contact Mapping is something that we put together to try to take the principles behind building great relationships that are really the secret to success for my dad, Tom, and my stepmom, Denise, and to make it possible for anyone to implement that in their life, not just in their network marketing business, but in every avenue of their life, and to be able to build really powerful relationships. And we just 2 weeks ago now spent the weekend at the ANMP convention in Dallas. We got to talk to over 300 people that are in the network marketing profession and share this with them. And it just came away more exciting than ever that we are doing something that nobody else is doing to help people, to make it easy for them to stay on top of their relationships and their follow-ups and to do the things that they know they should do, but that it is a struggle for them to be able to do. And so that's really what Contact Mapping is all about.
So very good. And one thing we got, and I guarantee you, these two people will relate to what I'm going to say right now. There is no bigger curmudgeon, no bigger skeptic, no bigger know-it-all on the planet than John Hammock. Bar none. He knows everything about everything. Wouldn't you say, Nick? Would you agree?
Absolutely, absolutely. A ball of information.
Oh my God. And so he sat down. We thought he was going to rip our face off. And all he could do is talk about how great it was, how much he loved Adrian's partner, the kid that's got the PhD from MIT. and the architecture and the infrastructure of what we're up to. And that was very, very exciting because John is a brilliant and a bright guy. And to have his buy-in on it was very, very big. So Adrian, you got lucky there. How do they find you, Adrian?
Yeah, so you get to try a free 30-day trial to experience this for yourself. You do that at contactmapping.com. There's a button right there at the top. You can sign up and start your free trial. And after that, it's only $9.99 a month or $99 a year. So it's a no-brainer, and it is going to transform not just your business, but your relationships in every level.
All right, you can come back during the next break. You did a good job. We're going to come back right after this. We're coming right back on the radio for the real radio that's on Saturday. So in about 4 seconds, we go live again. And we are back. It's Tom Chenault. It's the Tom Chenault Show. I hope you're having a fantastic day. We have got Nick and Natalie Sorenson, and I love this power couple because they look so doggone happy together. And all of us dream of having a supportive spouse that is going to work the business with us, where everybody defines their roles. Denise and I did that. We are partnering. I mean, I can hardly wait to come down. I didn't like Nick so well. I think I love his wife. And so going down there and having dinner with these two people in Dallas, Texas, or wherever they live would be nothing but fantastic. We've got a lot of friends in common. And this is what this is all about. Living your life like a party. 3 kids. They've raised 3 kids through their business. I didn't have postpartum depression. I don't know that Nick did, but his wife did, and she got through that and kept going. That's very, very cool, Natalie. And now, what's your life look like on a daily basis today? Your kids are all a little older. Obviously, you're still being that kind of mom. And what do you think about network marketing for all the other moms out there that are trying to figure out how not to give their kids to daycare, which is nothing more than a flu machine?
Yeah, that's totally true. So we have we have 3 daughters. One's almost 9, one's almost 7, and one that's not even 2. So she's not very old. And we raised the first 2 definitely when they were younger through full-time, both of us working the same business together. And as we moved into ours, almost starting kindergarten, we were like, maybe we should have one more. And I remember telling Nick, like, if I do this, like, you're going to be like co-parent, like not just like dad. Yeah, I can change the diaper, but I was like, we're going to do this like together. Like, I'm going to be working, you're going to be working. We were both running businesses at the time. And so what it looks like on a daily basis now is like a meeting late at night that's like, what do you have tomorrow? What do you have tomorrow? Okay, I'll do this, you do this. So currently right now, our 18-month-old, 19-month-old, 20-month-old, how old is she? She hasn't been in any kind of daycare. So Nick and I have worked at home with her, and she hasn't been sick, but like a stuffy nose, like no major illness at all. So, maybe this next fall she'll start a little preschool or something. But we love being able to do this with her. So I think Nick went into his office, like his company's office, with the baby on his hip last week while I had to travel to Houston. They were all like giving her knuckles, taking selfies with her. And I'm like, what a way to grow up.
How cool is that? Well, I know this. Adrian's got 3 kids, and I'm telling you, they are like outnumbered. And I mean, they are going crazy, and watching you 2 smiling through this thing reminds me of Adrian and Callie, because obviously with 3 kids, it's work, but it's worth it. What's wrong? Oh, look at the camera. My monitor fell down, so I'm holding it up. So the producer, James Earl Moore, who is that guy, that bird dog from Dallas that all of you met at the A&MP, he also runs everything, and I answer to him. So Nick, back to you. Future of network marketing. What do you think's going on out there? Integrity, fidelity. Talk about everything from your heart, buddy. Just don't you have to have massive integrity in this business? Just be true to your word, especially when people aren't looking.
No, 100%. I mean, we know it's a people business. That's why contact mapping is so powerful. But it's all about, trust. And this is a very simple business, but it's not easy to do. You have to have full trust in what you're doing, whether it's the products, whether it's the company, whether it's a compensation plan that you know that you're going to deliver value to people. And so it all comes down to that. It all comes down to, integrity, the belief that, the ownership, the formulations of the products, and the comp plan are in the best interest of you, the people you're sharing it with. And if there's a little kink in that armor, it's a lot harder to go do this business. And so I think that's everything for sure. But, where the industry is going, where the business is going, I wholeheartedly do believe that, we're getting ready for some massive growth. We're in this, we keep hearing about the side gig economy, all these different ways to make extra income. This is the best way, right? No overhead, the model works, the model makes sense. There's so many reasons why people should go towards this. But we're needing to make more and more income. On top of that, I wholeheartedly believe that, we are in a time with our economy, especially here in the States, but even worldwide, where it's fall, it's spring, summer, fall, winter. Never in the history of our economy we've gone backwards. And we know in this industry, when winter hits, we thrive because people are forced to go do something, right? This is a volunteer army, a volunteer industry where not everyone just goes and gets outside their box, gets outside their comfort zone to go make something happen. But when it's winter and when you're forced to, when your when your back's against the wall, you have to go do it. And that's why this industry thrives. So I think we're getting ready to see some absolutely incredible, massive growth in our space. And I'm excited to, and I'm excited for those people that are involved with companies and people with high integrity. They're doing it right, because it makes it a lot easier for the rest of us, for sure.
How do people get hold of one of the two of you? Is there a website or something where somebody can find you to, or find you how?
She's the better looking one, obviously, of the two. And so she does have a website. Hers is NatalieSorensen.com.
NatalieSorensen.com. Okay, you guys, thank you for coming on. We love you. Send questions to NatalieSorensen.com. I come back right after this with the great Lisa Grossman. Stick around. And we're back. Okay, don't you guys go anywhere. I love you too. So you were great. I mean, that half an hour flew by, didn't it?
Yep, very quick.
And just getting to the crux of who you two are so people understand. I'm going to tell you something, Nick. When I met you, I noticed a piece about you and a loving spirit about you that was infectious. And you were so calm.
Can you email me that, just so when I get in trouble with Natalie, I can just forward her that email that says,
hey, we'll give you, I swear to God, I never do what I did. Number one, trust. When you talked about trust earlier, Hammock said that you should be on the radio. And that went a long way in my decision, but I don't recall ever meeting somebody at dinner and saying, come on my radio show on Tuesday. And I've been doing this show for 20 years. So just know that you affected me, because at the table you were so powerful yet so quiet. And I noticed that and I respected that. And I just wanted to thank you for being that.
I appreciate you greatly. Thank you.
I agree with all those things. He totally is. And that's what has attracted so many people to wanting to work with him or be a part of what he's doing, is because of that element of, it's not quite out there as much as, so many people, it's like they're forcing it or they're faking it. And Nick's so like chill and relaxed and super knowledgeable, all of that.
That is very cool. Now, Danny Clark from England, who's my buddy, who flew all the way across the pond to the ANMP with a smile on his face, thinking he had a speaker slot, because I probably told him he had a full 20 minutes, just like Hammock. He didn't whine one time like Hammock did. Hammock was like boycotting me and wouldn't come to any of the meetings. He was a total dick. And here's this, I don't know if I can say that on the radio. And here's this Danny Clark, who was the classiest guy on the planet. And I just want to acknowledge him for that, because that was pretty cool. And we're supposed to be talking about contact mapping a little bit. So if you get a chance, make sure you go to contactmapping.com. And if you see Adrian Chenault, or you message him, tell him that his dad talked about it a lot. Let's go back to you guys a little bit. So aren't we just there? Hello, Lisa, you little angel. How are you doing, Lisa Grossman?
Obviously, I didn't have time to get glammed up, which means my ponytail would be better than it is now. There's this look, and then there's the better ponytail, which is the glam look. But I'm excited, and I'm excited you guys live in Dallas. What'd you think of that storm we all went through on Sunday for 20 minutes that took the city apart?
Yeah.
Nuts. Absolutely nuts. One of my friends have been out of their home, out of electricity for days now.
My daughters just finally came back on about 2 hours ago. I sound like a frog, Tom. I meant to warn you about that, but I'm working on it. It was weird. I'm not from here originally, so I thought it was like a tornado because of all the damage, but apparently it was downward winds, which can do the same thing, and I've never heard of those either. Adrian's here.
Adrian, you're on. Hey, Adrian, you're walking around on camera. So just say you got like a minute and a half to talk about anything you want to talk about. You got anything? Say hi to Lisa Grossman. She spotted you.
That's awesome. Hi, Lisa. Good to be on here with you. Congratulations on your cover. I know we'll talk about that when the commercial ends, but that is just awesome.
And all of you watching, the number one thing that you have a problem with in this space is following up. And as you get older, it's not even forgetting to follow up. It's remembering that you're forgetting to follow up. And this can help you as you get to be my age. So you should check it out. It's pretty darn amazing.
That was nice of her. Yeah, it's a killer app. I mean, it's changed the way, I actually remember call you once in a while too. And Nick, did you notice I met you? I contacted you 2 days later. I sent you my contact info. Then I followed up a week later. Remember that?
Perfect. Impressive. Very impressive.
Yeah, you should feel remembered and loved, and follow up is everything. Nobody does it. Where do they get the app, Paco?
Yep. So head over to contactmapping.com. You'll set up a free 30-day trial there, and you will be off to the races. You will not regret it.
All right. Now we're going to go to Lisa. So goodbye, Nick. Goodbye, Natalie. It was nice to meet you, Natalie. He was absolutely mooning over you. Now I understand why. He wanted to get out of there. He didn't want to talk to me anymore. He said, I got to get home to my wife. I thought it was going to be some old hag. Now I see we're all right. So awesome. We're going back right now. Nice to meet you. Bye-bye. And we're back. It's Tom Chenault. It's the Tom Chenault Show. And I am so happy to see all of you guys. And thank you for listening to the show today. Nick and Natalie Sorenson were great. Next week, Kim Calabrese is going to be talking about grief. And I want you to watch this show because people are losing this opioid crisis out there is so important to me because people are losing kids right and left, and you don't know what to say to them. And this Kim Calabrese wrote a book, and it was so powerful it made me cry. So I asked her to come on the show. She'll be here next week, and you really want to listen to that show. And now we've got the great Lisa Grossman. I don't know if you know her, and if you don't, you're crazy. And if you're not connected to her, you're crazy. I don't know anybody smarter. I don't know anybody with a better memory. I don't know anybody that follows up without even consciously following up at a level like a Lisa Grossman, who has integrity. The integrity of this woman is such that not only does she remember what she does, she remembers what she says she's going to do, and she does it. And when I don't do it, she reminds me gently that I dropped the ball. I love her. I respect her. I work with her on a really regular basis because we aren't anywhere near the same company. I love her. Lisa, how are you, kid?
I'm having an awesome day. A little bit of a lost voice, and I apologize to listeners for that. I sound a bit like a frog, but so excited to be here. And I was afraid if I told Tom I was froggy, he might give you somebody else. So I kind of neglected to mention.
So Lisa, talk to me about network marketing right now. You were a consultant for years. You decided to come in the game, put your spikes on, put your complete focus on one company, one build, started from virtually scratch, and you are killing it. Do you have any story in the world that network marketing is a dying breed?
No. Network marketing is a live well coming out of the garage, and the only constant in life is change. But I don't see as much change as everybody else does because I think I've been doing this in some capacity for 30 years, and my consulting career is a little more glamorous than Tom makes out to be because I didn't really love consulting. I love helping my friends. So I gave up consulting for a living to become a girl who can stick her nose in because she's helping and cares for a while before I got back into the field, which I never thought I would do. So never say never. I think that network marketing has always had kind of different viewpoints and different ways people view the business. And businesses, like all things in life, are a function of what you believe to be true. I think network marketing is doing better than ever. And if you look at the numbers would back me up. But for people that didn't believe it, 40 years ago or 30 years ago told me they don't believe it works. And today they don't believe it works for them. They are so right. And they've spent 30 years of it not working for them. And then I met people that know it works and it's working for them for 30 years. And that's really where you start. But network marketing is crushing.
And what you've done is basically reinvented yourself. I mean, customer acquisition. All I ever hear you talk about is how many customers you've got in your business and how customers are driving your check. And you've got to have leaders, of course, and you've got strong leaders, but you've really changed your conversation to customers and retention, right?
I have become the person I made fun of for the better part of 30 years. Yes, that is true. But it's an interesting thing because I think in the beginning I saw it. I mean, anybody who's watching this very first company you ever did, ever, didn't you try the product first? If you hadn't loved the product, would you have gone forward with the company? Now, for some of us, that was a great decision, not such a great business decision, because certainly there's more to a company than a product. You have to know how to run a business and you have to be fiscally responsible and all of those things. But that's the foundation. So after that, I was very focused on making sure all those things worked. I always liked the product. But when you've had an experience with a product that is life-changing or makes your life so much more convenient, or you love it, and you can look at your life every single day with things that are not from this space, if you need to validate this principle and ideal, there is a belief level that is bulletproof. And since everything is based on belief, when a lot of people join network marketing and think they started a business, they haven't really started a business. They were sitting at home one day, phone rang or the internet beeped or whatever happens today, because I'm sort of a techno idiot, and they saw something and they got excited, and the next thing they knew, they were in business. And maybe the person they listened to was great at doing a presentation. So they bought into that. But then they turn around and they go talk to 3 people that they know and try to do the presentation, which is nothing less than catastrophic. And they're doing it for the wrong people because it's family members that don't believe they can do anything anyway. And they're turned down, and they never believed they could do it in the first place. So they validated the fact that they couldn't by what they went out and did, and they quit. But if somebody has a great experience with a product, you can meet people all day that tell you the product doesn't work, and who cares? You know that it works, you know that it worked for you, and you'll keep talking about it until the people that are looking for you find you. So I think that when you start at the beginning and you start with the widest group of people that are going to be open to what you're saying, which obviously is going to be people interested in making their lives better through a product or a service, that eventually people will get on the road with you, and then you just have to see how far they go. And some people stop at customer. Most people stop at customer. Some people go a little bit further and make a little bit of a extra income. Some people say, oh my gosh, is this something I could really get out of the job I hate over the next couple of years? Because other than that, I don't see a road out. And some people, lunatics like Tom and I and others that I could name that I've been fortunate enough to know in my lifetime, they don't see anything but possibility. And they don't see limitation other than 24 hours a day and an opportunity to radically go out and change the world faster than anything else they could do. But you have to use the whole picture, and the whole picture starts with the product and people use it.
Talk about, Whitney Husband talked last week a lot about the foundation rank. You call it the brick rank. And I will tell you that when I met you 3 years ago and you went through that whole philosophy of the brick rank, and then I saw Eric steal it from you, but I truly believe that was a life-changing conversation that you and I had in that little restaurant that day. Because I told you, you said, what's your brick rank? And I made something up because I didn't want to look stupid. She goes, that's not your brick rank, you idiot. Here's your brick rank. And she told me exactly where it was. And she hit the nail on the head, where a person, a woman can just grab a couple customers and work a little hard and hit this foundation rank, be that rank, teach people to make that rank, which ends up making people the bigger ranks. Talk about that philosophy a little bit, will you, Lise? Because it changed my life. And I'm a pretty old guy to be changing lives on. So talk about that, will you?
Rick and I started together 30 years ago, and a lot of what I always kept talking about is stuff that we all learned at the same time. So I don't, there's nothing original. It's just stuff I've learned. You forget what you learn. But here's the thing. I call it a brick because goes back to the three little pigs. There's a lot of ways to build a house, but the brick one doesn't fall down. And how do you build a house? One brick at a time. So if you look at a brick house from foundation to chimney top, it's all bricks. But so if you know how to build a brick, then you can build another brick, and eventually build a house. So the brick rank is the rank in a position. It is in a company. It is the piece of the puzzle that, when repeated, will take you all the way to the top. And it usually involves yourself and maybe 2 or 3 other people in your business, and each person may be doing $500 to $1,000 in BV and/or volume. So it's a very small puzzle piece. But here's the cool thing about a brick ring. Once you've done it, 3 things happen. One, and most importantly, if you've done it, you can teach someone else how to do it. If you've done it, nobody can tell you that it can't be done. And if you've done it once, you can do it again and again and again and again. So the brick becomes the most important thing, because you can take, let's take Nu Skin, because it's been around for 100 years. I'm not in it, and I'm not trying to recruit anybody to it, but it's a really solid company. You can take Hawaiian Blue Diamond, and their brick is executive, I think. And if you look at a Hawaiian Blue Diamond, which is a big ring that not that many people get up to, it's a Hawaiian Blue Diamond executive. And if you look at the whole thing, it's just a bunch of executives in a particular formation that makes up the whole thing. Executive, compounding, executive, compounding, executive.
To compound the bricks, everybody. Chris Eversberg, legend in Nu Skin, Blue Diamond in Nu Skin, is in the studio audience here. And he just was absolutely nodding his head off when you just said that. And I think that's probably why that Nu Skin comp plan kicked my butt. But, I was like an abject failure in Nu Skin, and Chris was the hero. And you're right, Lisa. So what else? What's going on with the future of the biz? I mean, integrity rules. Just got done with the ANMP. You weren't there, but you were certainly texting me and keeping me on my toes, making sure we were guarding the rooster, guarding the hen house, or whatever it was. You were keeping an eye on things, Lisa. You are determined to protect this profession against the bad guys, as is, I see our buddy Richard Bliss Brooke is also watching today. Same deal. Go ahead.
I don't think that there are necessarily a lot of bad guys in anything. There are a lot of people that maybe don't know what they don't know. But I think that people are very susceptible to fear and gossip. And in network marketing, where you have a lot of people and anybody can join, you have all kinds of fear and all kinds of gossip, like any other type of thing. And I think that integrity is something you have to practice, because even when you are, gossip and fear will reign. So you can't really give, you have to always be focused, not just on the appearance of propriety and doing things right, because so often people don't really have clear understanding of the business that they're in. They don't have clear understanding of what they're doing. Somebody tells them, oh, it just takes 2 good people, or it just takes 5. And that's true, but it's not accurate. It takes 5 great people that want to do it. And you might go through 100 people to find 5 people that are really good, that want to do it, want to follow the rules. So then people get upset because they said, well, I got my 5 people and none of them did anything, and somebody lied. Nobody lied. Either it wasn't stated clearly or it wasn't heard clearly. But in that miscommunication, all the trouble starts. So every day we're combating the fact that there's a perception based on lack of understanding, lack of due diligence, lack of finding out what you need to know about it for yourself. This a tendency of people today to want to blame others for themselves not going and finding things out that we deal with every day. And in spite of all of that, this space is more fun a better opportunity for people to, I'll go with Eric. It's not perfect. God knows it's not perfect, but it is better. But in an age of transparency with social media and everything else, just be who you are, because everybody's going to find out who you are anyway.
Amen. We got to take a break. So we're going to come back right after this. Thanks so much to Ted Anderson and the Genesis Communication Network. 550 radio stations is a lot. We love being on those, but we really will take a break and come back right after this. And we're back. Hello, Adrian.
I just couldn't stand being remote anymore. I
You
had
were
to come,
to
I had to rush to
materialize.
the office.
Now we know what the chair that was causing such consternation for Tom.
That chair was making me crazy because it was vacant.
It's terrible. I left a hole in your heart. There was an Adrian-sized hole in your heart today. I saw that.
I know it was horrible. So Adrian, contact mapping, it was so cool because I was on a board call for the ANMP, and we're talking about speakers, and I cannot plug myself because I'm not a self-promoter. And all of a sudden, out of the sky blue comes Lisa Grossman, and she said, I am making a stand right now for contact mapping on the stage at the ANMP. Why did you do that, Lisa?
Because it's a good tool and it works and it fills a gap that plagues just about almost everybody. Everybody. The most productive person in the whole world is short on time. It gives them more leverage with their time. People that are not that good at remembering things, not that organized, one could say that includes me. I'm not probably the most organized in the room. But no matter where you are, it helps. And it's such an affordable price. What is it, like $10 a month? One remembered call. Even if it doesn't result in a sale, one remembered call that identifies you to somebody as a person who did what you said you were going to do, showed up on time, went the extra mile, set yourself apart from the way that most people operate today, is the foundation of making you a fortune in your life if that becomes your habit. And here's a tool that can make you, look how good it makes Tom look. He calls everybody back.
I
He
do.
remembers their kids' names. Do you think that's him by himself?
Nope, exactly right. You're 100%. Let's just talk about that for a second. That's a good point, Lisa.
But I give you credit. You got the tool and you use the tool, because the greatest tool in the whole world unused doesn't help you much.
That's exactly right. You're completely and totally correct. Lauren, your little 24-year-old is out there in Hong Kong, and Hillary went to the University of Colorado, and you met Curtis at a Lexus event, and your cute husband, he got in a car accident. He's got a minor in accounting. He's got a lot of body pain, but he buys real estate and helps you run your business. I have all of you mapped. You talk to me on the phone, you don't know how quickly I'm going to my database because I can't remember my own name. But I'll tell you, that little app does. Cool.
That's exactly right.
I don't have it open and I can tell you a lot about you, but you know what it does? It helps me not tax my memory so much, but I have a pretty good memory.
Yeah, and it's pretty doggone cool. How do they find it?
Yeah, so head over to contactmapping.com. You get free 30 days, so you actually get to experience it before you even have to put down a penny. But it's only $9.99 a month. Like Hillary, like Lisa said, one little shift in your business, one call that you make that you wouldn't have made otherwise, one person and one conversation where you carry yourself just that little bit differently, and you show that you care and that you remembered and you asked the right question, and your whole world can change. And you are absolutely going to get a return on that investment into your life. So you got to try it.
And I guess from what I'm hearing out there in the crowd, and we have a winner chicken dinner, I can see by looking at my app, Richard Brooke and his beautiful wife, Kimmy, and their daughter, Haley, which is really cool. But guess what? Then we've got that little dog, Marley. Give me 5. It's in the app. We love you, Brooke. So we're coming back. We are back, actually. Thank you very much, our producer, James, for reminding me that we're back. We're back. Thank you very much. This is the Tom Chenault Show. Stay here with Lisa. Stay for the rest of the show, Adrian. She loves you. You love her. We're talking about the future of network marketing. We're talking about what's going on. We're talking about these 2 young kids. Obviously, your daughter, Hillary, is ripping it. She's a graduate of the University of Colorado. Adrian graduated big degree from the University of Trinity or Trinity University, one of the two. I got to check my app. But at the end of the day, these kids are out of that corporate world and into this game called personal development and network marketing and home-based business and entrepreneurship. Pretty cool stuff. Isn't this the future, Lise?
Yeah, and they have an edge. Tom, you still think of this as a phone, right?
Yes.
My daughter told me 10 years ago it was a texting machine. And over the last 10 years, I've seen for people that understand that, what that can mean. And let me tell you why I think that means that why network is growing so much. Millennials grew up in a different sort of communication. And in many ways, there's downsides to that too. You know, you might edit yourself too much, but they do not have a scarcity mindset when it comes to. They are in so many networks in the real world and online, and communicating with them in so many different ways on a daily basis, and have no problem throwing something that they're excited and they believe out into the marketplace. But here is, I think, the thing that intimidates a lot of people. With the world getting to the point that everybody's basically a publisher and can put their opinion up, millennials are different. If they love a product and they believe the value is there and that people are being treated properly and that the social issues that concern them are being addressed, they will light it up. And if they don't, the ability to scare them or make them not pick up their marbles and go play in another game is almost moot, because they do not have a scarcity mindset the way that many people in my generation do. And that's creating a lot of change in network marketing that intimidates a lot of people. You have kids under 30 and under, amazingly talented. And they're not necessarily any more talented than people I met 30 years ago, but their ability to view technology and the way that they view the world, they're going 400 wide and creating systems that actually service those people better than we used to be able to do 40. And the numbers are growing geometrically, and they're concerned with product value and customer acquisition. It's the way that they think. A model without it wouldn't make sense to them. And I think that it's truly influencing everything that's going on today, particularly network marketing. And I love it. You know, I'm a Star Trekker. I like to go knock on doors. So I think the future's bright, rosy, and pink.
You're also an expert in Asia. What's network marketing looking like over there? You and Curtis spend months at a time traveling all over those countries. I don't know how you do it. Is it just pandemonium for network marketing?
Well, it is over people in other countries, Asia in particular, but I could name other countries as well. They are not nearly as unaware of the magnitude of the opportunities that are available to them. You know, in the United States, we always say times are tough, and people, if you pick up a newspaper, and I don't care whose news it is, there's a way to find a reason to think that you don't have the opportunities you should, or that life isn't good, or whatever it is. But we have it really easy here, because anybody here can get up on any given day and find a great opportunity with very little money and very little education and a lot of sweat equity, the mentorship, the model, the training, and the ability to go out every day and change their life and lead the world doing it, because much of that entrepreneurial opportunity is born here. Over there, people are so grateful and they have such a long game. I like to think I play the long game, but I'm an amateur compared to the people that you meet overseas, because they waited so many years for things that we take for granted on a daily basis. Also, they're very merchant conscious. They have great relationships with people. Their home-based business is more in coffee shops, so they are very tech savvy, but they haven't lost, while they're out contacting people, they have all these contacts, they haven't lost sight of connections. And I always want to tell people, no matter how many contacts you have, there's nothing replaces connectivity. So stay connected.
Wow. Got any questions for him?
Yeah. So what does it look like as a leader? You know, a lot of people in different companies that, you know, their company might be opening up a new Asian country, for example, and they're thinking about, could I approach that? You know, I know somebody over there. What's your number one tip for somebody that's thinking about trying to build in Asia for the first time in the United States?
With the caveat that there are exceptions to any rule, my feeling is that you can build the world from home. There are 10 million, for example, Chinese speakers in North America. There are huge Russian enclaves in North America. There are huge Vietnamese enclaves in North America. And when you build local, it's less expensive, and those people serve as a bridge. And that's originally how I got to Asia. I built very strongly in the Asian markets in Southern California, Northern California, New York, and ended up in Asia because of it. And now to maintain a business there, I spend a great deal of time. Jessie Lee Ward, who's phenomenally amazing, and I've got the privilege of working with her on a daily basis, as well as my daughter Hillary, who's new to the industry and lighting it up. They both have teams in Asia, and they have both made 3 trips to Asia in the last year. So you can recruit people if you know them well. But my feeling is you have to be willing to go support at some point that which you created, because technology gives us great advantages and great leverage, but it does not ultimately replace the need at some point to get on the ground and get face-to-face and involved within their culture and within their lives.
All right, we're out of here. This was a tremendous show. I love the Sorensens. They are as cute as a button. I would love to get to know them better. Lisa, I know like a sister. It's been phenomenal having you on. I feel like I've known you all your life. So we are out of here. We'll see you all next week. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye. And stay here. Hello, Lisa. Don't you leave. All right. So where's Chris?
Well, he had a procedure today. I was the designated driver, which is why I missed our board call. And he is now sleeping off the anesthetic.
All right. So he's okay, though?
Good.
Good, good, good. And when's your next trip to Asia?
Scheduling that right now. I actually thought I'd go back before the end of the month, but it looks like I've got a trip to Mexico the end of the month on the 29th. So if I'm here that late in the month, I might as well do July 4th at the lake. So I think probably around the 7th or 8th of July.
Your life doesn't change at all. You basically do the same thing wherever you are in the world. You're on the phone, you're emailing, you're Facebook Lives, you're connecting with people, you're loving people, and it doesn't matter what part of the planet you're on. That's what you do, right?
Well, it's a funny thing. People are people wherever you go. And their desires, their needs, their weaknesses and strengths are pretty much the same. So yeah, one of the things I love about technology is I'm sitting in my house in Dallas, and granted, if we were doing this and I was in Hong Kong, it'd be 6 o'clock in the morning, but if you asked me to be here, I'd still be here. I'd just be sitting in a different computer, in a different apartment, but no different. And that's what people have to realize. But the statement that I made about being willing to go support your business overseas, I would say the same thing if you live in Dallas and you've got business in California. You have the ability, because of technology, more so than ever, to be able to go national or global in scale. But eventually, if things really start to pop, you have to be willing to go there if you ever want it to grow where it can grow, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. Well, Lise, I know you got a lot to do. We've already been on the phone a lot today with our common drama. And I love
you're always interviewing people, so I want to ask you a few questions. Where do you see you've been around looking at this industry through the front of the like this going forward through the rearview mirror for as long as I have? Where do you see the future going?
The economy's never been better, and network marketing does pretty well in a great economy, but it does really, really well in a bad economy. We don't have a bad economy. So people have a million.
Bad economy better.
Yeah. And so as a result of that, we have a real big opportunity here, because people, I saw Ted Knighton posted today that 8 million people dropped out, some $8 million number. I don't know, 8 million people number. I don't even remember what it was. There's 8 million less network marketers than there were last year, or some crazy deal. I will tell you this.
Where did this stat come from, out of curiosity?
Knighton was on his wall today. You think I made it up? Of course.
You get it.
I have no idea. I don't fact check anything. I love fake news. What do you think? Hey, you are talking to someone who is not that sharp. So yeah, I don't know where he got that stat, but whatever it was, it was. But inside of that's opportunity, man. I'm telling you, I think we are at an age right here where relationships, people are so sick and tired of being an ID number or a stat or a piece of data or a click, that they are scrambling back to personal and human relationships with blaze speed And even though we may lose more of the clickers and the data miners and all that garbage, I think the true relationships are absolutely alive and well, and it's only going to get bigger and better. And all I'm going to tell all of you is you don't have to sign up the world in network marketing. You have to build a few powerful relationships that go do the same thing. And sooner or later, look at me, 20 years later, I've got over 1 million people in my genealogy, of which probably 5 are working. No. Who knows how many are working? So, yeah.
Because it might have looked like I was, doubting it, and it wasn't that. I just wanted to know the totality of the statement. But in thinking about it, this business of mine here, 93% of my enrollments in a given month, and I know yours are similar, are consumers, new ones. So yeah, I probably have far less business people. Let's retract that. I probably have far less people that have said I want to be a distributor application in this than in previous businesses. But that doesn't mean the numbers are less, because there are far more people, I think, that are capitalizing and utilizing the products that come through network marketing than ever before, which is why I think the revenues are continuously going up. So I think that while there are truths, there's also accuracy. Network marketing as a business, and I think it's starting to make more and more sense as a business the older it gets, is doing better and better, because there is no such thing as a successful enterprise if there aren't more people interested in utilizing the service or the product, or than there are people that selling it. Can you imagine if the only people that were interested in contact mapping were Adrian and his partner?
That would be a bad day.
There's no doubt about it.
I think the opportunity.
Right. What's your last question? Because I don't like talking about me.
Everybody's intimidated by international. How long did it take you to get on where they didn't speak English, to go to a place and build internationally where they didn't speak English?
I'm really good at it because I don't ever I'm never the pioneer.
I know.
In fact, I am so old that they have handlers go with me. And so wherever I go, it is so great because I don't speak anything and I don't even try. But I've got huge organizations all over the world, because what Lisa Grossman, I swear to you, she taught me this many years ago. She said, the first thing that you said, and I can't believe I'm outing you on this. The first thing that you said was, don't be the first wave in, because that's where all the practice is done.
Outlast the pop and drop. Wait till the pop and drop is happening.
Yep, that's what you said, which was brilliant. And the second thing you said was, make sure that you go someplace where you've got a connection in the United States that has credibility for you. So when you leave, they don't go sign up with some other friend. That was brilliant advice. And the third brilliant advice was Ken Cito. And Ken Cito, he said, you want to go international? Because Ken Cito was real big internationally. And I said, yeah. He said, well, good, go to Australia. I go, what? He goes, go to Australia. There are all kinds of people it's the melting pot of the world. Go there, develop relationships, and those people are so close to their families, they will build a business. Okay, so what I did was I went to Australia instead of over to Asia, and I put a hook in some serious builders, and the rest is history.
Okay. And how long had you been in the industry?
What?
Before you actually took the leap to go international, how long?
1989. It was too funny because that's a smart question. I don't understand why you asked it. But
people are always intimidated. It took me 11 years to go international. I was
11 years. Hell, 89 is a long time ago. I'd just gotten sober, and I went to Hong Kong with New Skin, and I was all the way across the world, so I could drink at any point. I'm twice as tall as everybody, and all this hair on my arm, people were petting me. It was the worst thing. And I wanted to drink so bad. And I accidentally walked into an AA meeting, and everything changed. And that's another reason that I go to AA meetings all over the world now, because I was home wherever I was in the world because of all the expats. And I spoke the language of Alcoholics Anonymous in a world that was speaking completely different languages and cultures. It was my grounding force, and it changed everything because I made the relationships there. just like I did in Australia, and it changed my life, Lisa, and that was in 1988.
That is so cool. So you did it before me because I didn't get overseas till like 2000.
Yeah.
But here's for the people that stayed extra. This is the last of your Tom's right. Australia is one of those great places. And Melbourne in particular is an incredible city, is a melting pot. New York, Hong Kong, Vancouver, Canada, and Kuala Lumpur, Singapore. These are all places that if you build there, it will take you everywhere in the world.
You want to build in Russia? Go to Melbourne.
Exactly.
Unbelievable. Jeanette Anderson's on here. Your old buddy Jeanette. You know her.
Go to Toronto.
Yeah. Crazy. So you guys, and here's one thing that I would advise you to do. Ask somebody that's done it. You go over there and try to be that pioneer. Your wallet is gone. Your money's gone. Couple of organs gone. No, I don't know. But I'm going to tell you, then you talk to somebody like Lisa Grossman, and they tell you where the potholes are, and you don't end up with that problem. So, yeah, I love that. True.
Where you're at. I mean, literally, my business in Asia, which started in 2003, and it's considerably big today, started in Southern California.
Yeah. And Adrian, he's lived in Zurich. He's lived in London. He's lived in Australia. This is a worldly kid right here.
Yeah, but your advice is spot on. I think having that connection point in the United States is your baseline is key. And it's so important in those cultures to get in front of people. And so
this has been so much fun.
Yeah, oh, it's the best. The best perspective you will ever get, but do your groundwork first, because you'll go through a lot of money in a hurry if you don't have a foundation.
I haven't been to Australia in a lot of years. I need to go back. It's one of my favorite places.
I love Australia. I go there all the time. I love it with all my heart. One of the great surprises for all of you is Russia. You get to Moscow, you get to St. Petersburg, which is a little bit like Austin, Texas. And in the United States, if you're a really bad boy, they say, okay, we're sending you to Siberia. You've been told that before. Guess what? Siberia to Russians is like Aspen. I mean, that's where the oil money, that's where the hip people are. So I am going to, you don't want to go to Chenault. I watched that the other night. Do not go to Chernobyl, but anywhere else in Russia, I highly recommend. So yeah, pretty cool, Lisa.
Even Lauren, my husband and my youngest daughter just got back to Hong Kong from Australia. That's what I'm thinking about.
Very cool. All right, we got to go. I got one more Zoom and then I got to do my opportunity meeting. I am a multi-level marketer. I love